Okay,
I
so
apologize for my speech.
that's okay. Is that one of the issues that you're having with the neurological disorder?
Yes, yes, yes.
How long have you been experiencing these conditions, multiple system atrophy?
In 2009, I started having my first symptoms with a twitch in my hand, fingers. I started having trouble writing and coordination of movement in my hands, typing, and it cost me my job. I lost my job because I couldn't keep up at work.
Okay,
And,
so where do you live now?
I'm living in North Carolina now.
Okay, and it says in your email that you thought you have mercury poisoning. What makes you think you got mercury poisoning?
Well, before that, I was a picture of health. I was a professional singer, taught gymnastics on the side, very active ex-military.
You were in the military.
Yes.
Okay,
From
what?
80 to 86.
When were you in the military?
1980 to 1986.
Okay, and oh, there's that buzzing again. Okay, so you went through all the rounds of all the inoculations and vaccines for the military at the time of the 80s, in the 80s.
Yes.
Okay, Lisa, so what have you done since then to detoxify your body from all those vaccines and inoculations?
I was also going to say, before I say that, I had all my amalgams removed in around 2004.
Oh.
And after that,
Okay.
that's when the problems began. My dentist, he meant well, but he didn't use the right protocol, from what I found out later. And I think that was the start of everything.
Okay, so you're saying 2004, and then when did the symptoms begin to take place?
I started having strange symptoms of rashes and unexplained rashes, and the hair was coming out in clumps, and anemia, and female issues with chronic cough, and unexplained heartburn, and then I lost my professional singing voice. And I went from doctor to doctor, and no one could figure it out. They thought it was in my head, or I strained my voice. And I said, no, this is not really normal for me.
Lisa,
And,
how old are you now?
I'm 53.
Okay, so you're just a kid, so you shouldn't be having these issues unless you've gotten toxic overload, which is exactly what it sounds like. And so when you were in the military, what were your duties in the military?
I'm an ammunition supply specialist.
So were you working in the field around a lot of chemicals or explosions?
I would say so, yes.
Okay, and then, but you're saying that when you got the dentistry done, how many of those amalgam fillings did you get removed?
I don't have the picture here in front of me now, but I'm thinking it was around 8.
Okay,
And
8 of
some of
those.
them were quite large.
And what were they replaced with?
Composite resin.
Okay. Yeah, and so you basically got mercury poisoning, and it set off a chain of events where you finally just got overloaded. Because it sounds like when you do the military thing, that's a strike against you. The mercury toxicity, especially if you have a dentist that isn't aware, which you found out later, you only do like one at a time, and you do all these special things to make sure that you don't get toxic. Did he do any of those holistic, amalgam filling removal protocols?
All he did was put a dam in my mouth to protect me from the silver amalgam falling down my throat, I guess. I don't specifically remember him putting anything special over my nose except maybe one of those masks that painters wear, you know what I mean?
Okay, and so you said this is quickly progressing?
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you
Just last
something.
year I was walking with a walker last year pretty well, and now I'm almost in a wheelchair. My speech was much better a year ago. It's very challenging for me now.
Okay, so how long have you been watching my videos, Lisa?
For about 2 years now, I think.
And how far have you progressed?
Huge fan of you.
How far have you progressed in the diet?
Before I experienced my symptoms, the neurological, I started getting into the raw food.
2 years.
I was feeling fantastic.
Oh, before before you got ill?
I just did it for about a month. I was just trying it out.
Before you got diagnosed, or before you started noticing symptoms?
Yeah, before I started noticing neurological symptoms.
So that was back in that was over 10 years ago?
It was around, I think, I'm thinking, you weren't the first person that I learned about raw food too, but I was starting to try to learn about it around 2008, and I started dabbling with it, and because I was having other symptoms before the neurological symptoms, trying to get my singing voice back, and I tried the diet for a little while, but I wasn't aware that I could possibly have mercury floating around in my body. And I did the master cleanse, and I know I didn't drink enough water during that time, and I feel like it could have stirred up trouble.
When did you do the master cleanse?
Around 2008.
And did it make things worse?
It seemed like it was, yeah, I'd say it did.
Interesting.
But like I said, I think I didn't do it properly. I just didn't drink enough water, so I think I could have had mercury removed from my tissues, but it probably redeposited elsewhere in my body because I didn't drink the proper amount of water. And
Okay. So now it's time to take a look at the diet. What?
And also I want to tell you that I dabbled with a water fast about a year ago.
Say it again, please.
I dabbled with a water fast about a year ago because I believe in fasting. I made myself worse by doing that too. I foolishly added some salt to the regimen. Someone told me about putting some salt so I would have an easier time during the fast. I think that was a huge mistake because I got really sick. I had such heartburn. It's like vomiting acid. It's awful.
What kind of salt were you using?
I was using the pea salt, the proper kind of salt, but I don't think I should have used that. I probably should have stayed strictly with just the water.
Well, all that
I don't think I prepare my body for the fast properly.
That's right. These are things that need to be addressed out there in the health world, is that as we refine ourselves in our body and go through this process of healing and detoxification, it's one very small, intelligent step at a time. We're never in a hurry to get to the finish line because there isn't one. Now, sometimes we got to stabilize somebody in an emergency situation, but for the most part, we're either going downhill slowly or we're regenerating ourselves slowly. But if we try to regenerate too fast and jump into long water fasts or accelerate too rapidly on the change of diet, being that we are such a toxic world and we have gotten so weak, and there's so much toxins that you can actually cause harm to yourself. So very slowly and surely you're going to want to regenerate yourself. But one thing that I know for sure when it comes to these neurological problems is that fruit is your number one food choice. I don't know where you're at with the diet now, but where you're at, you can't really afford to play with delicious tasting cooked food. And I don't know if you're doing that or not, but steamed vegetables are not going to get you where you want to go. So tell me about your diet right now.
Because of my finances, I'm only getting a disability check and it's quite small.
Okay.
So I'm trying, I'm currently, I've been going kind of back and forth with the diet, but doing what I can afford.
Okay.
I try to do fruit juices and some green juices, but sometimes I can't afford to keep juicing, so I have to handle what I have it on hand. So I have added a few foods because of that, but I truly want to do the right thing and go fully raw.
Right.
But I want to get enough nourishment. I have people that want me supplements to try to help.
Yeah, the supplements aren't going to give you the energy that you need. You're going to want to try to find a way to procure some organic high water
Right.
fruits. And I would, if since you're on a budget, I wouldn't even juice them right now. I would just eat them whole. But it's going to be things that are in
Right.
season, like grapes are at the end of the season, watermelons are at the
Right.
end of the season, oranges are always good, apples are going to start coming in. Those are the foods that actually can begin to bring in enough of the electromagnetics. They vibrate much higher than the vegetables, grains, beans, cooked food. I mean, when you're dealing with neurological disorders, you really don't have much room except for stabilizing purposes and to make sure that you're not moving too rapidly. But things like grains will never regenerate nerves. Things like meat will never regenerate nerves. Sometimes the healthy living fats, like the coconut fats, are great insulators,
Right.
as well as the hemp seeds. But those are just insulators. If you want to conduct the electricity, the most bioavailable energy is going to come from the high water fruits. Things like mangoes that are ripe, oranges. Where do you say you live again? North Carolina?
Yes.
You're going to want to move in the direction of fruit. I don't know if you're what kind of food you're eating, but when you're on a budget like that, it's easy to eat those foods that are never going to help you to get over this. And what's going to help you to get over this, and I don't know if you've done much time on fruit, but the fruit is where you're going to get where you want to go. Does that make sense?
I was learning a little bit from Dr. Morris. We're reading his site about the fruit having neurological diseases.
Right. So
And,
is it really? Tell me about the finances. Is it finances coupled with some attachments to food, or are you a fairly disciplined person?
Again?
Do you have attachments to food at this time for comfort?
When I get depressed, I guess I grab carbohydrates.
Right,
But
of
I
course.
always feel bad afterwards when I do it because I know that there's a link, they say, between the gut and the brain. I know that wheat and things like that are going to stifle my healing.
Yeah, the wheat, the rice, the corn, those are going to slow you down for sure. So $300 a month is not a...
I crave salty foods a lot for some reason.
Say it again?
I love fruit too, though.
And those are the proper carbs. Fruit is the proper carbohydrates.
Right.
So I would continue to focus on bringing in those fruits. What is your percentage of fruit right now, Lisa?
Just yesterday I had a 32 ounce a jar of watermelon juice. And I had a 16-ounce jar of cantaloupe juice.
Okay. Now, since you're on a
I've been doing
budget,
that consistently, though. I need to go consistently with that.
right, it's like you need to go like one full day fruitarian. And that could even mean tomatoes, cucumbers, things like that. Cucumbers are great. Low sugar, but just those are just really, really hydrating and have a lot of minerals. But those sweet fruits that are tree ripened and organic, they're going to have the minerals and the electricity that you need to bring in the regeneration and the conductivity through the nerves so that you can start getting some mobility back in these areas that are starting to shut down. So, and also I recommend, since you are on a budget, I would recommend eating the watermelon and the cantaloupe as opposed to juicing it to stretch your money out a little bit, you know?
Okay.
Keeping the fiber, getting full that way, you can stretch out those watermelons and you can stretch out those cantaloupes and those other fruits as well. Minimizing the vegetable consumption only in the case of staying stabilized. You don't want to go too fast. You'll have a snapback, you know what I mean? But you're going to want to be much more consistent with the fruit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's your cure there. Now, are you getting outside into the sunlight?
Unfortunately, that's dependent upon if I have my sister here to take me outside regularly. And sometimes she's so busy she don't get to do that.
So you actually do need help getting outside.
Yes.
Well, so the fruit's a priority. Getting outside is a priority. Do you take your shoes off? Do you have grass?
There's grass out there. There's just a lot of mosquitoes and my sister sprays outside.
Okay, so you can get outside into the grass because your mobility is down. Do you have fluctuations in mobility, or are you pretty much headed into the chair right now?
Headed to the chair.
Okay, so if you continue to move in the direction of fruit, you may be able to have a good turnaround, a good amplification. And you're also going to want to access the earthing energy for your to make sure that you're getting as much of that energy from nature as you possibly can, because it's so soothing for the nerves. Your bare feet.
Do you think that fruit will make me detox too quickly, or?
Say it again, Lisa. What was that, Lisa?
Do you think the food will make me detox too quickly? I'm just wondering when it pulls the heavy metals from our body.
That's why I'm saying.
I'm not able to get colonics right now.
Do you have an enema bag?
I used to have enema boards, and my ex-boyfriend used to give me enemas, but I'm no longer in with him to do that for me. I'm hoping I can get my board back and get my sister to help me. But right now I just depend on the fiber and water in my diet and occasional herbal laxative. I got Dr. Morse's herbal laxative.
Yeah, so there's been some constipation then?
Yes, because this part of my disease is constipation. If I don't eat properly, I have to keep my diet consistent to prevent that.
Yeah, you're going to want to be real strong when it comes to those cooked grains and stuff like that, those depression foods. It is easy to get depressed, but if you strengthen your mind and you take it in that direction and as a part of your refinement as a human being, and you simply say no and you experience some of that depression, maybe you're going to cry or whatever, you're going to get some of that out of you, and you're going to stay off those grains that are going to really, really slow down your progress.
So should I do greens at night and do the fruit all during the day?
I said grains. I would like you to, if you're going to get over this, grains will never regenerate nerves, and neither will any cooked food for that matter. Cooked food will not bring in the energy that you need to regenerate your nerves. It just won't happen. It doesn't have the electromagnetics. Only the raw living foods has the electromagnetics of the bioavailable minerals, which create the conductivity of electricity. Just like the experiment when you put the sugar in the cup and you try to light up the light bulb, it does not light up from the sugar. But the living minerals, that's when the light bulb lights up. And the plants and the fruits pick up those minerals and condense them for you so that you can, as a human being, you can absorb those in the angstrom size that makes them available to the structures in the body, to the fluids in the body, so that energy can be conducted through the lymph, through the blood, and through the nervous system. So I don't know what other cooked foods you're eating, but that's what you want to do. And for the people who are watching this video who are interested in neurological regeneration, which should be everybody, it doesn't matter if you have a disease, you should always be focusing on enhancing the vibration and the absorption and the conductivity and electricity of your brain and nerves, because that's what's going to make you a superhuman. If you're an athlete, that's what's going to make you more athletic. If you're someone with an illness like Lou Gehrig's or ALS or multiple system atrophy, then you're going to want to amplify the electrical current in your brain and nerves. Do you meditate, Lisa?
I haven't quite learned to much about that, but
well,
I know it will be very helpful for me.
It will be, and you can actually do it laying down, but you just lay on the bed and you close your eyes and you relax, 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 and then you listen to the inner world and you start feeling the inner power. Then you can begin to conduct that inner power, which is an internal, eternal radiance of power, and you can begin to put that. You can visualize light with a smile around your brain and nerves, and you picture those little dendrites that are beginning to shut down on you. You picture them full and plump and filled with electricity and life, and in the middle of each dendrite is a smiley face, smiling. And that smiley face transmits energy to the next dendrite, which transmits the energy and the impulse to the muscles and all the systems that are now, through this meditation practice, becoming reactivated and regenerated through your conscious participation. But you've got to follow the laws of electricity of the physical organism, which is going to be the highest vibrational fruits. And then you get your mind right with the smile of your brain and nerves. You put a little smiley face in each dendrite in your brain, and you just lay there and you picture every little dendrite sending messages to your muscles, to your singing voice, to all those things that you love that are important to you. And you really master this. You might have to watch this video again. I'll put it up to YouTube. Watch it and understand what I'm saying here, and visualize that you have the power to use your brain to feed yourself that love vibration, that love energy. And as your mind becomes more stabilized through this practice of meditation and mental stabilization, then your emotions can become more stabilized. And you visualize love and gratitude for the life that you do have, for the life that you've lived, and for the life that you're going to live. And you focus on cultivating heart, love, energy for your entire body. Okay, there's one other thing I want to share, and that is a drawing formula from James Sheridan's Health Force Nutritionals. It's got some clays in there There's two things I want you to remember on the supplemental side of things. Chlorophyll, the chlorella is very inexpensive. Do you know what chlorella is?
Yes, I have some to that effect.
Okay, you should be using that every day in about 16 ounces of water, a tablespoon of chlorella,
Okay.
to neutralize the heavy metals as you're using the fruit to electrify. The fruit is also going to dissolve a lot of the accumulations, and it's going to move a lot of these heavy metals that could be at the one of the underlying issues of the toxic overload that you're experiencing, which is causing you to have this shutdown. And then you want to look into Jameis Sheridan's, or it's called Health Force Nutritionals, and it's called the Drawing Formula. And it's really good for the bowels. It's also got 2 different types of clay and some charcoal in there, which will also help to draw, pull, and remove and eliminate safely any of the toxins that are built up. Also, using the fiber from the fruit is really good. Fruit juices are good at the higher echelons, but in the beginning, the fiber is really important. Like when you're me, you've been doing this for 14 years, you can live off of like fruit juice, and you have no problems, no detox.
Right.
But when you're at the beginning echelons, you actually want that fiber, which is sweeping through the GI tract, eliminating toxins. Okay, so you've got chlorella, you've got the drawing formula from Health Force Nutritionals, you've got the meditation, you've got the fruit diet. You're at the end of the season here, but you've got a couple of good months. And then I would be using apples. Applesauce if you get bored. Pears are going to be coming in. Plums are in right now. Stone fruits are in. We're at the end of the season of a lot of things, but you can jump on it now and start looking for ways to talk to the farmers and find the high quality fruits that are inexpensive in bulk, and simplify the diet, 1 or 2 or 3 types of fruit at a time, and start moving in this direction of fruit detoxification. Try to use the enemas if you can, and make sure you're getting outside and getting the sun on your skin. You know, if you can go outside and be naked by yourself and have privacy that way and get that sunlight on your privy parts, that can really help to bring the nerves and when you start absorbing the minerals from the fruits, that's when the glands can begin to become reactivated. The fruits are beautiful for 3 things: the electromagnetics, the bioavailable minerals, which feed the glands, which wake up the adrenals, which help to wake up the nervous system. And then there was another thing about the energetics of the fruit. And then a list that goes so long about fruit, because we are designed and set up for fruit. I've been doing this for a long time. Fruit is the king of the foods. But the thing is if people are dirty, they're going to have trouble with it. Is there any other questions, Lisa?
Yes. And fruit help make my body produce stuff of me on its own.
Say it again, please.
I started taking Regeneration.
I don't understand what word
I started
that.
taking an herb called Regeneration.
Brain and nerve formula number 3.
No, Macuna Perrines.
Macuna Perrines.
Yes, it's a herb.
Oh, okay. It's a green plant.
It helps give you dopamine in your brain.
Right. Okay, and that's going to help as well.
I was wondering, is there anything I can do to help my body produce its own production of dopamine?
Yeah. Well, make sure you get plenty of sleep. And of course, the fruits again are going to start bringing in the minerals, which feeds the glands, which produce the dopamines and the serotonins, as well as regulating your sleep as much as you can, and getting sunlight in your eyes in the morning, and then closing the lights down at night when the sun goes down, and getting some sleep that way. And then that sunlight, and also just really using your mind to create feelings of happiness, looking for things to be grateful for. Really, because you got nothing else to do, you know what I mean? When you're in a situation like this, now is the time, because when we're younger and we don't have these issues, we can just run around and distract ourselves and it doesn't make any damn difference. And then we stay entertained, we don't even know what's going on. But then when we get into situations like this, and as we become adults, now you've got nothing better to do but time on your hands to master your mind. To use your mind to tap in, to relax. Thomas Edison and all these other geniuses. Now's the time for you to activate your genius because you don't have anything else better to do. And when you activate that genius, you can tap in to that field of energy that contains all knowledge. And the clearer that you get and the more time that you spend with yourself in solitude, listening to the inner power, listening to the inner voice, it will guide you and it will tell you what is next. And it will tell you why this is happening and what you can do about it. If you listen quietly and develop that relationship with yourself. Does that make sense, Lisa?
Yeah.
Do you think that you'll take the time now to sit with yourself, to listen and learn and go on that inward journey?
Yes, I will.
Because you'll find an unlimited resource within you, infinite power. But we're so distracted by the world that we never take the time to develop those skills. But as we mature and we have a desire to refine ourselves, to bring honor and glory to that which created us by actualizing our potential, then now is the time. And so we don't have to get into disease conditions to do this. It's just that when we get into these conditions, these opportunities to grow, then we have those more time and we have nothing better to do than to actually start to really develop these qualities within us. And we can do a lot about what's going on, but we've got to reconnect with nature and follow the laws. And if you get on that fruit and you get off of the food that's slowing you down, you're going to see some big differences in your experience.
How long do you think it'll take to see results so my ability improves?
Well, a lot of times you'll notice it right away. When you have those super high quality fruits, which can be difficult to find, but if you make it a mission, you really put out the effort to find deals, to find the right people to help you. And when you put out an effort and an intention, this universe will put the wind in your sails because it wants to move you forward on your journey into awesomeness, into health, and total healing. But if you can refrain from the foods that hold you back, and if you could stay 80% fruit and 20% some vegetables, the only thing I would recommend is, I try to recommend 100% raw and using just a little bit of some of the vegetables to help moderate. What's your percentage of cooked to raw right now, Lisa?
What percentage of raw?
Percentage of raw to cooked.
More raw than cooked. I'd say I've been doing like 60% raw and 40% goes plainly. But I don't want to go 100% raw. I want to go for this because.
What are those cooked foods?
White potatoes, I know that's bad.
Potatoes? Yeah, those will slow you down.
It is.
And wheat, you said?
Yes.
Mostly grains and carbs as a comfort food.
Right.
Okay, well, learn to comfort yourself psychologically. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you to be real strict. Go nice and steady and gentle, but at the same time, you have to have reverence for the laws that govern the brain and nerves. And that's going to always come back to the science of fruit, you know, the electromagnetic properties and the bioavailability of that which nourishes the human organism is always going to be in the fruits. And so if you... Say it again?
Should I get Dr. Morse's brain and nerve formula?
If you can afford it, the brain and nerve formula is very good.
And what kind of dressings am I allowed to use on my salad at night? That's
the thing. If you're going to use the salad as opposed to the cooked, you can use the fruit dressings. I'll have to come up with the DVD, but you can always do orange and red pepper. And
spicy things, so peppers are good.
Say it again?
I love spicy things. I love cayenne pepper and habanero peppers.
Yeah, if those things, they're stimulating, but they're not going to slow you down as much. So if those will help to keep you raw, I mean, sometimes it's nice to put a little bit of cayenne on your watermelon. You know, it puts a little pep in your step. A little bit of cayenne on your fruit dressings at night. It's really the heaviness and the pastiness of the grains and the cooked carbohydrates. They're going to be vibrating so low on the scale. You know, they have a lot of calories, but they don't have a lot of electricity or conductivity, and they create a slime paste and a constipation. In this case, you just don't need that. That you're going to have to stay with the fruits and the leafy greens. Get your raw percentage up higher and higher and higher, okay? And use those fruit dressings.
I have a lot of coconut oil, and I've heard that's good for the brain. Should I be putting some tablespoonfuls of coconut oil in between?
Is it a very high quality coconut oil?
Yes, I have a very high quality.
I would say you could take a tablespoon of that a week. It's not just as an insulator. But right now, you're going to want to up your game on the fruit. And then you use the vegetables right now to stabilize until you can really move into that place where you're able to let go of the salads even. Because the vegetable matter at one point actually becomes a hindrance to the process of evolution for those who are healing their brain and nerves. It's the same kind of thing. If someone wants for this path of raw foods to spiritual and physical enlightenment of the body, it's going to be the same kind of thing. You want to amplify the light in your brain and nerves, and it's always going to be fruit and fasting.
Do you think going fruitarian would be a good thing for me then?
Say it one more time.
Do you think going fruitarian would be a good thing for me in this condition?
I would consider myself a fruitarian if I was you, because that's probably the only way you're ever going to be able to regenerate yourself. So be a fruitarian.
Yeah.
Be a fruitarian that uses the leafy green plants for now to stabilize. Bok choy, a little bit of kale, some green juices here and there to stabilize, but the organic tree ripened fruits. So get the highest quality fruits, not unripe pineapples or unripe mangoes or frozen foods. None of those are going to work. The bananas are a good food, but it's the high water things like grapes. Berries are amazing. Berries, grapes, oranges, melons, and then I love myself the cucumber because it's a low sugar, super hydrating, high mineral food that doesn't pull you down. It keeps you on the up, but it's a stabilizer.
I need to ask you. I love raw apple cider vinegar. Is that discouraged to put on my cucumbers?
You know what? The ACV for now is fine. Later on, as you become more of a fruitarian, you may find that it's a little bit too abrasive. But for now, if it's going well and it's helping you to stay raw, it's actually a pretty decent food, the apple cider vinegar, and it really does help to increase the saliva, and so it can really aid in digestion.
I'm having a little trouble with chewing and swallowing a little bit. So I've been doing smoothies with a straw. So if I add that with cucumber and make like a smoothie with some other greens or fruits, is it okay to combine fruits with greens, or is that a bad idea?
Well, bananas go well with it, but usually you'll find what you're going to want to focus on. Now, we're just talking at the highest levels here because this is where you're going to need to get to, but mono fruit meals, sitting down and eating like, 4 to 6 oranges, or a couple of 2 or 3 or 4 pints of blueberries, or 2 or 3 or 4 pints of raspberries, or 3 or 4 apples, or some applesauce would be really good for you,
That sounds doable. Yeah, this has been wonderful. But I was really concerned if I was going to get enough nourishment with the money that I would be able to put into this. But that's a good idea because the juicing gets expensive for me.
That's right. So you're going to have to stretch your money out, and you do what you can.
Do a juice on occasion, like a good citrus juice in the morning, like an orange juice or grapefruit juice,
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea, Lisa.
Yeah. And I do have a few good quality supplements right now that I was wondering if it's okay to still include them. We have DHA for the brain. I know you've heard of that, right?
Yeah, that's okay. If you feel like it's benefiting you.
Also have coral calcium and HCl.
I wouldn't use the coral calcium.
Don't use the coral calcium?
I wouldn't use it, no. No,
Okay.
you don't need it. You need calcium and magnesium in balance, and you're going to get that from the fruits and the vegetables.
I think I have the health source of vitamin C, the health source, or the food source of vitamin C.
Yeah, that's an excellent source of vitamin C. So if you're benefiting from that too, then that's a fine thing.
So that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think so.
But no core calcium.
I don't like the calciums when they're isolated like that. It's not necessary for you in your situation. Or helpful, in my opinion.
I was able to say it'll make my body more alkaline, but none of these fruits will do the same thing, so.
Yeah, fruits and vegetables for alkalinity.
And she had the D3, vitamin D3, in liquid form for the tongue.
Yeah, that's going to be great. E3 Live is excellent. I love it. Phenylethylamine goes straight to the brain. Very subtle, very powerful. Anything else, Lisa?
I guess that's all I can think of right now. How about avocados? That's considered a fruit. Should I be doing avocados?
Yeah, if the avocados are going to help keep you stabilized, yeah. A couple, 2 or 3 or 4 of those a week is a fine idea for now.
So, is there any order I should be doing? The clay and the the chlorella, any order? And
Not
how I should
particularly.
take it?
I would say to take if you want to take the chlorella first, and then take the clay later. It's a little capsule form, and for the clay, you take 6 or 8 of those, and then that'll keep. It's a nice formula. That it's a bowel
I do it
formula.
on the empty stomach in the morning before I do the food, or do it later in the day, or what's best?
Whenever you can fit it in, you know.
Okay.
Whenever you fit it in with your juice or some water or something. You'll follow the directions
Okay.
on the package. It's got some good directions on there for you.
And should there be? I heard something somewhere where it said you had so many hours after taking chlorella and clay to have a bowel movement or have an enema, like 6 hours or something. Is that true?
I don't know what that is about.
Because they were saying it could redeposit in my body if I didn't get it out, and I was just curious if that was true.
Yeah, well, that's why you just want to keep on eating fruit with fiber. Fruit will keep you moving, you know, and then you want to try to get as
Okay.
much exercise as you can. You know, get out there and move as much as you can. Keep your muscles going. Make your brain and nerves work.
Exercise is, I have to admit, exercise is a huge challenge because I have a movement disorder. Although most of the time I have to lay on the bed and try to exercise.
Whatever you can do, whatever exercise you can do on the bed, the tiniest amount of walking, anything that you can do
Right.
on the floor or with your arms, with a bar, anything you can do to keeping those pathways awake and alive, and the fruit is going to really help.
I have some good liquid B vitamins here that I need to use up too.
If you need to use those, feel free.
Use up.
Those can be helpful too sometimes. The niacin.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I can think of right now.
Okay, Lisa, I hope that you have the best of luck. Continue to watch the videos of Robert Morris and Dan McDonald and anybody else who's promoting health at these high levels, which isn't that many people, to be honest with you. So I would just stick with DTM and Robert Morris, you know, and then always pay attention to context. Because sometimes I'm doing stuff for like athletes and things like that with a lot of more of the gourmet and things like that. But for the deep tissue detox and brain regeneration, you're always going to come back to the fruit.
Oh, when I get well, I'd love to meet you one of these days.
That's what you should do. That's one of your goals. Get well enough to come to one of my classes.
Personally,
Okay?
thank you.
Get
Thank
well
you.
enough to come to Woodstock Fruit Festival. How about that?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Make it happen because you've got a mighty monster inside of you. Okay?
I know this.
Infinite power.
I get depressed. I get depressed about it a lot, but I'm trying to be as positive as I can.
You keep on with the positive attitude. That's the key. One of the absolute keys. Okay, Lisa?
Okay.
I'll put this
How
up.
about water? How much water should I be drinking a day, or will this fruit put
The fruit will keep you hydrated, but probably anywhere from 32 to 64 ounces of water per day on a fruitarian diet.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Hey. Fabulous. You gave me a lot of great information, and I thank you so much.
My pleasure, Lisa. Thank you so much for taking care of yourself and being brave.
Where can I find this video? Can you send me a copy of the video through email?
Say it again?
Can you send me a copy of this video through my email?
Can you go on my YouTube channel and check it out over there?
Yes, what would it be under?
It'll something about it'll be real recent within the next day or two, and then all you do is just check for the regeneration of brain and nerves.
Okay.
maybe I'll entitle it Brain and Nerve Regeneration.
Okay, brain and nerve regeneration. Okay.
Okay, Lisa, I got to get heading out of here.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
You're welcome. Good evening. Peace be with you. Write to me again and let me know how you're doing, okay?
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe. If you found this information helpful, you can share it with your family and friends on Facebook. That's a great idea. So thank you very much. Just take care of yourself. I hope you learned something valuable and you have the courage and the inspiration to apply this knowledge to your life. This very, very valuable knowledge, life-changing, powerful knowledge that has kind of gotten stuffed into the cracks of society. Okay? Awesome. Peace.